Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update. Saturday, August 8th, around 11 p.m. Mountain Time, 2020. Wild weather bringing major flood warnings for New South Wales, southeastern region. Yes. A state of emergency service is on a high alert as severe storms battering the southeast of New South Wales is causing major flooding throughout the region. Heavy rainfall is expected to occur through Sunday, with Sydney expected to be hit by the deluge later this afternoon. New South Wales State of Emergency Services hold particular concern for the Mayura community, with town central business district in threat of major flooding. Now, the bomb said parts of the south coast have recorded rain levels of up to 300 millimeters. And your friend and mine, Giles, CF Gingara, living in that region, has picked up 200 millimeters. But according to the models, and the reason we're doing this video, up to 400 to 600 more millimeters in the next 24 hours is expected in a small region of New South Wales. So, since Friday, New South Wales Southeast South has received more than 700 calls in the past 24 hours. 494 calls were made in relation to storm and flooding damage, and here you can see horses being rescued. Hello! We love that. Keep calm. It's flood time. And that's boom. Southern New South Wales hit by up to 200 millimeters of rain, now up to 300 as weather warnings issued for the coast. Now, if you didn't know, 200 millimeters is around 8 inches, which means 300 millimeters is around a foot of water. Severe weather warning for New South Wales. South coast as deluge brings flash flooding. Well, what they saw today was just a tippy touch of what they're going to see tomorrow. And at the same time, conspiracy theorists are talking about the weird patterns on radar as rain bands hit. They hit like Schmidt. Hello. Let's pause. Now, these wild weather patterns or rain bands is simply because of the way that the radar technology works. They take the data in different strips at different levels in the atmosphere. So you're going to get this interference pattern in many cases if they don't have the equipment set up correctly. So you can see that the storm system here is a repeat of this and this, just taken at different levels. See that is this repeated, and then big one, smaller one, smaller one. So what we have here is different levels of the storm being pictured at different layers in the atmosphere, all put together in one picture, because apparently the modeler or the programmer on this particular satellite system did a very bad job. But now let's get to the facts and the warnings and the reason we're doing the video. It's not looking good. New South Wales coast residents warn flash flooding will get worse as wild weather continues. Now, we knew this before I read the headline, but I went and looked for headlines, and sure enough, they know the same thing. And here's the reason. This is our current position. We're looking at the windy model, which is taking in all the satellite data and all the known numbers, and we're looking at the European version. And what you're going to quickly glean here is that we have what appears to be a tropical cyclone, but it's in the winter. So this is a winter cyclone with gusts up to 70 miles per hour here, and that is the live picture. So this is going to rapidly move near Sydney onshore to Canberra in the next 4 to 5 hours after I speak, and that is not going to quelch the winds. We're going to see gusty winds on the coast of Sydney up to 70 miles per hour. In kilometers, that's like 100 or more, much more. And this is going to be driving that moisture and that rain in this region, Canberra to Sydney, where the major flooding up to 3 feet on some models. Now, that's a lot of millimeters. That's 1,000 millimeters if that actually happens. 800 to 1,000. So we're going to watch this closely, because here's what happens to the storm. Here we are in 12 hours. That is going to push right on shore north of Sydney, but this is going to be drawing the moisture up here just north of Canberra. And that's bad news, and I'll tell you why. We're going to look at 2 of the potential situations here for you. Let me just move my mug up into the top right. So this is the next 24 hours according to the GFS. You're looking at 2 feet of rain here in this region of Canberra. So directly between Sydney and Canberra, 2 feet of rain, heavy flash flooding. This goes way inland, 100 miles. And if we look at the European model, it's even worse. Now, the European model typically has better forecasting potential in Australia But that's bad news. Next 24 hours to 3 days, showing pink here, which gets up into the 2 to 3 feet range. So the European model is showing a more devastating flooding closer to Canberra and further away from Sydney, where the GFS model is showing more of a broad-based destruction between Sydney and Canberra with much less flooding. Not that much less. The difference between 1.5 feet and 3 feet of rain, which is insane. Now, good friend CF Chingara posted this picture hours ago, 1 hour ago, his local town dam. Now, this is not supposed to look like this. This is flooding over the top of the dam. Apparently, they don't have an emergency spillway. It's also flowing around the side of the dam. Not good news here. There's going to be some erosion taking place. And the prediction for his region is for what they just got times 2 to come in the next 24 hours. This is a mini Three Gorges Dam before our very lives, in our very eyes. CF Chingara is going to report on it. He's there. And why are we dealing with this? Well, cosmic rays have reached a new maximum. Right here. Boom. That's where you are on that yellow line. Above every other solar cycle, going back all the way till we can go back. This is going back and back 1,000 years. We have reached the modern maximum, probably, in my opinion, in about 8,000 years. But that's a whole nother podcast. And what that means is that those mud floods that a lot of you care about and read about, those happened thousands of years ago, during maybe the Maunder minimum and earlier. And those were caused by spikes in cosmic rays. Because what we know is that, just take a look here, we're in the modern maximum. In the last 3 years, we've increased 12% here in this portion of Sweden. Now, a lot of us don't live in Sweden, so that really doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter where you live. The numbers are increasing everywhere. The Intercontinental Space Weather Balloon Network here shows you the effect of cosmic rays based on latitude. The higher the latitude you are, the more dangerous it is to fly or be outside. Here we are in Norway at around 80,000 feet. We have dangerous cosmic ray levels. So you don't want to be flying up there if you're an astronaut or going into space at that altitude or at that latitude. You want to be launching a spacecraft near the equator, which is why they do it by Florida. Here's the Chilean negative 39 degree and the plus 20 degree Mexico. So that's going to give you something similar to Florida's Cape Canaveral. The lowest muon density or cosmic rays that you can find on the entire planet. But as we go north, here's Oregon up high, Washington State even higher, and then Norway up in the stratosphere, so to speak. Now, cosmic rays increasing for the 4th year in a row. Now the 5th year in a row is well known. We've been reporting on it almost every 6 months for the last 3 years. Here's a Tony Phillips diagram from spaceweather.com. Cosmic rays in the stratosphere intensifying here in Oulu, Finland. And the California balloons are in gray, getting the same numbers. So, if you don't know what we're talking about, physicists as early as 2013 claimed that there's evidence and a link between cosmic rays and cloud formation. And that was the peak of the global warming narrative. So CERN got involved with the cloud experiment, and they actually accidentally proved the work of Svensmark correct. Now, Svensmark has been attacked since his first paper back here. Increased ionization supports growth of aerosols into cloud condensation nuclei back in December of 2017. He's been attacked and attacked and attacked and pushed back. Why? Because the cloud experiment confirmed his hypothesis. And that's bad news for mainstream, because it means that the planet is going to be cooling as cosmic rays increase, not the other way around. And it also means that cosmic rays have such a force on climatology that even if there is an anthropogenic human effect, it would pale in comparison to the cosmogenic effects of cosmic rays raining down on your head, nucleating clouds, and creating biblical flooding in New South Wales. So that's the science. Cosmic rays are to blame. And once again, we'll take you over here to the model, and we're going to quickly run it through. let's see where we're at. Here we are in the ECMFW, and this is the European model, which typically is more accurate. We're just going to go through the gusts here. 70 mile per hour onshore, 66, 71 onshore, 50 or higher onshore. And that will rapidly diminish through the day tomorrow. So you're going to have an early blast of high winds in Sydney, and then it will subside because this baby is going to move back offshore, which is not good news to the north because it's going to continue to send that rain up in those regions. Now, the rain we're talking about is biblical in proportion. In fact, we're looking at the GFS numbers for the next 5 days in the southwest here. Let's let it load. Give it a minute, and then we'll switch over to the European model so you can just get a flavor. So the worst hit region is going to be this area I'm circling here. Get prepared. I have no idea who's in there, except I know CF is probably in the zone. If you're out here on the coast within 30 or 40 kilometers of this coastal region between Sydney and Canberra, you could see up to 3 feet of rain. And now the flash flooding you saw today will only be twofold tomorrow or more. So proper prior planning will prevent piss poor performance when this deluge lays itself down. Biblical in nature. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And that was a boom to not only space weather knowledge, cosmic rays, and a little climatology, but the facts on the ground from friends in the community. So hopefully we get more information from CF and we get an update on what this dam is going to be doing tomorrow. In my estimate, if they get half of what's predicted in this region, and this is in that region of the pink, this dam just very well may fail. If not this dam, then any of the hundreds of other dams in the region. So we're going to keep a close eye on it. Send prayers out to New South Wales in that region. And that's a boom to knowledge. Share this video with like-minded people. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And remember, preparedness is the key to peace of mind in the future that we're moving into. Be safe. We love you. Thanks to all of our one-time donors, our Patreons. The most important person is the person that shares this video. We love each and every one of you. Be safe. And that's a boom to knowledge. Oh yeah, click on one of the boxes showing up around the screen and gain more knowledge if that's what you seek.